Portion of this video is sponsored by Beatbot. I was going through and thinking about all the tech that I used this year, and it was like a lot of stuff. Some of it was garbage. I bought some cameras for home security that I wish I could drop kick into the trash, but I also picked up a bunch of stuff that I thought was absolutely awesome. So in that vein, here's a video of some of my favorite tech for the year. I got a lot of products to tell you about. But one special thing, especially kind of holiday, something I love doing, I've been doing it for years. I want to give back, give you a chance to win $500. Made it super easy. Leave me a comment down below, tell me what your favorite product of the year was. It could be any tech product at all. Watch the video all the way through, give the video a thumbs up. I'll let you enter once per day too. I'll let it run for 10 days, open to anyone in the world, and we'll pick a winner at random. All the information you need, as well as all the products I'm going to talk about, will be in the description down below. All right, so the quick hits first. Some of the stuff that just works so well, I just stopped thinking about it. Anker 10K power bank, 45 bucks, built-in USB-C cable, built-in wall plug, nothing else to pack. I bought 5 of them in the TikTok shop, had a BOGO, one in my backpack, keep one in my wife's purse, sometimes one in the car, 2 floating around for the kids. Haven't thought about charging logistics since like February. TORRAS MiniMag. This is actually from a sponsorship we did earlier in the year. It's Qi, it's magnetic, crazy thin, 5,000 milliamp hours, basically disappears in your pocket. 35 bucks too. Brought it to Disneyland, didn't even have to use it. But I also didn't have to spend 8 hours doing anxious math, thinking about whether or not we make it to fireworks. That's what this thing brought me, peace of mind for like literally just the cost of like a nice lunch. The Fanttik S1 NEX Studio toolkit, 75 bucks. I love Fanttik. I went on a kick this year where I bought like a bunch of Fanttik stuff, but this is like the one toolkit for everything. My tool area was a huge mess. Comes with an electric screwdriver, precision bits, pry tools, tweezers, kind of the whole setup in one case. This has been absolutely perfect for tech teardowns, tightening cabinet handles I have to do all the time. I rebuilt my middle guy Zachary's bed frame after he decided to stress test it. Grab the case, fix the thing, put it back. Perfect. The Shokz OpenFit. I had ear surgery as a kid. I got scars behind both ears. Most headphones really hurt after 30 minutes. And I tested like a lot of headphones this year. Some for work, some for me. But these are the ones that I actually keep coming back to because they're the ones that I can keep wearing for a very, very long time. The audio quality is great. The microphones are great. I think Shokz makes a really good pair of headphones. I probably could have picked almost any of the Shokz headphones, but these I thought were kind of the best value for the price. Eero Max 7. I have 5 gig internet that my older router was just bottlenecking. Now it's not. I set it up once. I never really had to open the app again. I used to get texts from my wife all the time if the Wi-Fi had dropped during her like show she was watching. Haven't gotten that one in months. I set this up. I can go through and do the complicated stuff, but the app is really, really easy. I'd even trust like my mom to go in and figure out how to do it. Long name for a good product, the Sony STR-AN1000 receiver. And this thing like just showed up. It is still in the box. I haven't quite set it up yet, but pretty excited for to get it all working. My old Marantz receiver was slowly dying, and I spent a long time on Reddit and ratings trying to figure out what to replace it with. So here's the thing with receivers. If you have a PS5 or Xbox, you want 4K at 120 Hertz with VRR, your receiver has to support HDMI 2.1 or it becomes a bottleneck. It was a complicated mess, and a lot of receivers, even expensive ones, can't do it. This one can. I got a lot of stuff plugged in too. Routes like my consoles, Apple TV, streaming boxes, other streaming boxes too, all to one hub, and this handles everything into the switching automatically. It's great. So that was the stuff that quietly made my life easier this year. No learning curves, no drama, just like problem solved. Half of them I reach for every single day without thinking about it, which I think is the highest compliment that I can give. And all this stuff too, links will be in the description also. But I want to tell you about the calendar that fixed something I didn't really know was broken. So this is the Cozyla smart calendar. And there's a lot of other smart calendar options here. This is just the one that I have. I imagine other ones probably do a similar thing. I got 3 kids. My boys have baseball. Olivia's got dance. I travel for work. My wife has her own schedule. We have a shared Google Calendar that I forget to check. And then there'd be this moment at like 4 p.m. My wife would say like, you know, Olivia's got dance at 5, right? And I do the thing where most people do, right? Pretend to know, but clearly that I didn't. And then we were both annoyed. This thing has solved that problem. It's mounted in our kitchen. Everyone can see it. Nobody can claim they didn't know the number of like, wait, that's today. All that kind of stuff has just dropped to 0. I don't know how to quantify the value of fewer low-grade arguments with your spouse, but it is very, very high. All right, so the next one up is sponsored, so thank you to Beatbot for sponsoring this video, but it's also genuinely one of my favorite things that I use throughout the entire year. All right, so Beatbot earned a spot on this list before they even asked to be in this video. It's been making my life easier every single week for like almost the entire year. I've had their AquaSense 2 Ultra cleaning my pool since last winter, and in Southern California, in all fairness, like winter means the kids are still swimming in November, but the trees never stop dropping their leaves. The Ultra is actually the world's first AI-powered 5-in-1 pool cleaner robot. It's got 27 sensors, maps your pool, does floors, walls, water line, skims the surface, and then parks itself when it's all done. It also has this thing called Clear Water Clarification System, which keeps our pool clear, and it's also skin and eco-safe too. It's not gonna get like a weird rash. All the AI on board too is no joke. They use a hybrid sense pool mapping with AI camera. It works really well. Like you literally see it like chasing leaves around the pool until it gets them. But it's actually new, and sort of this kind of fits the whole theme of this video, the rest of the lineup. Pool robots used to have this problem where the affordable ones were basically expensive toys, kind of cool things to show people. You'd save money and get something that sort of wandered around aimlessly and missed half of your pool. Not anymore. So the base AquaSense 2 is $999, which by my math is less than $1,000 during their holiday sale. It's got 16 sensors, smart path planning, dual pass waterline scrubbing. It'll scrub the floors, the walls. It won't skim the surface, so it's not a full like 5-in-1. But if your pool isn't surrounded by trees like mine, this is legitimately great. Not just like great for the price. There was a Pro also in there too for $19.99 that adds the surface skimming. It also adds their clean water clarification systems. It's got 22 sensors, 9 motors, 11 hours of battery life on the surface. If you've got sort of tree cover and you're constantly fishing stuff out, it's probably the sweet spot. The Ultra, the one I have, is more expensive. It's $2,950. But you get a full AI brain. It learns your pool over time, night cleaning mode, quick mode when people are coming over, or my kids have friends in the backyard in 20 minutes. It's sort of the, I don't want to ever think about it again option. But all 3 tiers are legitimately good. A year ago, I can only recommend the expensive one. Now I can recommend the entire line. Kind of something for everyone. AquaSense 2 for those that want like something reliable and good performance for the price. AquaSense 2 Pro for people who want kind of the best balance and feature set. And the big boy, AquaSense 2 Ultra, for people who want kind of the premium pool cleaner that does absolutely everything. I should say too that all include 3-year warranties and full unit replacement service too. And again, you want to check out any of the AquaSense 2 product line. Links are all down below. Okay, so now on to the fun stuff. I went down an emulation rabbit hole this year that got out of hand. Started with one device, told myself I just wanted to play some old GameCube games. Next thing I know that I had bought, I think by the end it was like 6 different handheld emulators. It got to be like a problem until I found this sweet thing. Meet the Retroid Pocket Flip 2. It's what survived my emulation purge. Depending on when you buy it, I think now it's just barely over $200 for the Snapdragon version. Clamshell design, obviously, AMOLED screen, runs everything you could want from GameCube and Wii, PS2, even Switch stuff, if you're willing to kind of fiddle with the settings. They made it in this purple, looks exactly like how my GameCube looked. I'm not gonna sit here and also pretend that the aesthetics wasn't like 40% of my buying decision here. The hinge feels good, the screen is gorgeous, it fits in my pocket. Obviously the whole caveat here, make sure you own the games, all that kind of stuff, but if you do, and you want an emulator that can do pretty much everything, this is like a sweet, sweet thing. The Lenovo Legion Go S, in this kind of, I think unique blue, I think I'm the only one that has a blue color, solved a problem that I've had like for years. I do not have a gaming setup. I don't have any dedicated spot to game. I work from my dining room table. The living room TV is visible from everywhere. I've got a 6-year-old who asks a lot of questions. I'm not firing up like God of War while Olivia's doing homework. The Steam Deck kind of showed me that PC handheld gaming was real. Well, actually what I fell in love with was SteamOS itself. It just boots tombstones of games, no Windows updates, no real driver drama. know, why is this game running at 14 frames per second troubleshooting? The Legion Go S is an 8-inch, 120 hertz that's running the same OS, running Steam OS, same as a Steam Deck, but I think with better hardware. It ain't cheap though, it's like $550 for the base model, and it goes way up from there. But I'm playing full PC games in bed, my wife watches her reality shows, and everyone is just happy. Hope they give me OLED next year and I'll stop asking for things, but if you're looking for a way to game on the go, even considering a Steam Deck, I think what Lenovo's done here is absolutely awesome. All right, so the XGIMI Horizon 20 Max, they sponsored a video earlier in the year. It's a projector, costs like $3 grand. I know that number is gonna make a lot of you probably click away, but projectors have kind of been almost good enough for my entire like YouTube career. And every time I tested one, there was always like something. Not bright enough for daytime. Input lag was too bad for games. Setup was a disaster. Conversation was always like, well, if you can control the lighting and you don't play games and you're okay with some compromises, then like, yeah, it'd probably work for you. This one crosses all those off and just works. Physical lens shift, which usually only exists in projectors, way more expensive. 5700 lumens, which means I had it running with windows open, lights on in the middle of the day, and it still looked good. But the wild part was 1 millisecond input lag with VRR support. I played like shooters on this thing on a 100-inch display, and I didn't know that was something projectors could do in 2025. And now I can't unknow it. And I'm not saying projectors are for everyone. I'm saying that they're finally for someone. And that someone, maybe it's you. All right, LG C5 OLED, best TV of the year, starts at $1,400. So I had the C5 and the LG G5 set up side by side at the studio. The G5 is obviously a better TV. It's LG's flagship. It costs like $800 more, a tandem OLED, higher brightness, the whole thing. And there's obviously a clear difference between brightness. You can see the difference if they're side by side. But you know what most people don't do is put TVs side by side. The C5 is the OLED for most people, and I think that's like finally a thing. Previous years, it's been that like OLED is for enthusiasts. Prices were still high, and the ones that weren't were way too dim, or mini LED offerings were just better for the price. The C5 has 4 HDMI 2.1 ports, 144 hertz for gaming, everything I need. The G5 is there for people who want kind of that bleeding edge of TV tech. It's legitimately incredible. Probably not for most people. The C5 is the best TV of the year, not because it's the brightest or has the best specs, because it's finally the best TV for most people, and I think that matters more. Pixel 10 Pro Fold. If you asked me a year ago whether you should buy a foldable, I probably would have said wait. Software was kind of weird, screens had issues, cameras were generally worse than the flagship counterparts. You're paying a premium, obviously, for the privilege of some of that like software jank. That's not where we are anymore. The Pixel 10 Pro Fold just works. Outer screen is actually really usable. I love the dimensions of it. Inner screen is great. Cameras are legitimately good, not just like good for a foldable. Samsung Fold 7 is really solid too if you're in that ecosystem. But as someone asked me, and I do get this question kind of often, is what foldable should I get? My answers changed. And this year it went from probably the Samsung to I think what Google's doing is really cool. This one is maybe less techy, but a mechanical watch. Took my Apple Watch off a few months ago. I had to. Notification dot was doing something to my brain. I would check it constantly, not because I needed information, because it was there. My brain couldn't let it go. I'd be at a baseball game, be up to bat, and I'd sort of glance at my wrist, see if someone sent me an email. It wasn't making me better at my job. It wasn't making me more present. It was making me twitchy, anxious, and distracted. And I didn't like that. Even notifications turned off, I just didn't like it on my wrist. So I started getting into at least more mechanical watches. This one is a Tudor. There's a lot of options out there. I love mechanical watches now. I think the technology that goes into it, while not traditional, like it's got a screen, is still really cool. And the craftsmanship that goes into it. Mechanical watches are very clearly on my list this year. Dex Camera. This is also from a sponsorship. It's an AI learning system that sort of teaches kids languages. My daughter's been using it to learn Spanish. And a few months ago, she asked if we could switch from Spanish to Chinese. I asked her why. She told me there was a friend at school who speaks Chinese and tells secrets, and she wanted to learn what she was talking about. That was cool. And that's not something you can force. A kid wanting to learn something because she actually wants to, not because it's homework, not because I'm telling her to do it. That's the dream. point this thing at stuff and it translates it. 8 languages and more coming, a bunch of dialects. If you speak a certain dialect of Spanish, it'll sort of pick up the accent on that dialect. It's really cool, and it's meant just for kids. There's no browser, no YouTube, no ads, no app store, no creepy data collection. It's a tool that does one thing really well. I think most AI products for kids are engineered to be addictive. Streaks and badges, notifications, kind of designed to maximize their engagement. This one's just useful. Olivia picks it up because she wants to, plays it for a while and puts it down. That's rare. I thought that was really worth celebrating too. iPhone Air. Sales are rough for the iPhone Air. I've seen the numbers. Probably meetings happening at Apple right now about whether or not to continue the line. But I think it's my favorite phone that I have used in years. We announced it, I honestly wrote it off. One camera, smaller battery, wasn't the Pro Max that I've always had. Cool phone, just not for me. And here's where I have to be honest about something I think that's maybe a bit uncomfortable. I spent years on camera telling you that specs shouldn't matter, that experience matters more. And buy based on how something feels and works for you, not based on what's on like a stat sheet. But then every time, like a chump, every September, I bought the Pro Max. Biggest battery, best cameras, most storage, maximum everything. I said one thing, and I did another. And I didn't really notice it until this phone forced me to kind of like look at it. And 3-ish, almost a month with the iPhone Air, and I love it. Camera's fine. Battery gets me through the day with kind of charging it while I'm driving. But the way it feels in my hand, the way it disappears in my pocket, like, I love this thing. I wear gym shorts to my kids' practice, and they stayed up. And that's never happened. Usually I gotta tie a really tight knot. I just accepted saggy shorts as the price of a flagship phone, and it turns out that's a choice I was making without realizing it was a choice. I hope Apple doesn't kill this thing. I hope it gets 2nd gen. The spec sheet says it's a downgrade. My actual life says it is a huge upgrade, the most interesting phone I think Apple's made since the iPhone 10. All right, so there's obviously a lot more I could have added, but that's my list. There's kind of a thread, I think, that kind of ran through this. 2025, I think, was the year you kind of stopped needing to be an enthusiast to get enthusiast level stuff. Projector that works in daylights. Foldable that doesn't require a disclaimer. OLED that embarrasses TVs twice its price. Handheld that runs SteamOS out of the box. 5 years ago, half of this list would have come with caveats. It's great, but this year a lot of the buts disappeared. Stuff that used to require research and patience and a high tolerance point for some of that jank, it all just like works now, and for normal people at normal-ish prices. I thought that was pretty cool. And that's the shift. That's what made this year feel different. And I think it's gonna accelerate from here. Everything I talked about, all the links, everything you need will be down in the description below.